A couple days ago, Larry Hoover received a pardon from Donald Trump.
Who free, bruh? He free. Who? Larry Hoover, he free, bruh. Yes, sir.
And shortly after, rumors started floating around that Larry Hoover snitched on a high school shooting, which led to him being shot in the leg. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I need a quick 500 likes. But 1090J ended up dropping a video on the allegations, and he came to the conclusion that Larry Hoover snitched on the person that shot him.
I'm gonna say this first and foremost, and with all due respect. If you weren't born in the 50s or the 60s or are a direct relative of Larry Hoover, I don't give what you have to say. But it's very interesting that this paperwork came out of nowhere, right? I don't know who had it. If the Stones was holding it, I don't know if somebody was waiting for it, right? But they literally waited until his sentence got commuted, which nobody expected, and then boom, it's the internet. I didn't do it. I don't know where it came from. But I looked into it, and yes, I found multiple articles detailing what took place. And that's what happened. Larry Hoover got shot on his first day of school. He was most likely a senior since he was 18. Two rival gang members walked into school and shot him out front of the principal's office. This man was a certified smacker, leader. But unfortunately, if you go by the paperwork, he's also what? He'd be considered a snitch, right? He identified the two people that shot him, and they were rival gang members. And the police went to their house and got them.
1090J received a lot of backlash after releasing that video because many people claim you can't go off a news article, and many believe that Larry Hoover never snitched because there was no real paperwork. Although Wack 100 has had numerous back and forths with Jay Prince, he didn't jump out the window and snap that Larry Hoover was a rat. And he ended up getting on a phone call with the shooter, a guy by the name of James Highsmith, and in this recorded phone call, James Highsmith clears Larry Hoover's name, said he never snitched, and he also cleared up some inconsistencies that was reported in that news article.
So let this be clear. I'm on the phone with individuals from Chicago, not just individuals, but one of the individuals that was involved in this shooting that happened with Larry Hoover, where people are running around with the narrative that Larry Hoover told on these individuals. So I'm gonna let the brother speak and tell me if there's some truth to that, no truth to that. My disposition is newspaper article is not looked at as legal documents, so I've been standing against it. So I'm gonna let the brother speak, let y'all know who he is. We all see the names that was posted on the internet about the shooters, and he gonna tell us what his facts of how this situation went, what they are. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, my name is James Highsmith. I was the shooting cause it's not alleged. I did do the shooting and I did serve time in prison. But it wasn't at the behest of Larry Hoover. Larry Hoover never told me. Matter of fact, there was over 100 people in the hallway, so there wasn't no way everybody knew I did it.
Now, I want to make that part clear. Out the gate, the shooter, Mr. James Highsmith, just said it was a bunch of people in the hallway. Larry Hoover never told on him. Let's keep it rolling.
They didn't need Larry Hoover to tell. First of all, and secondly, and more importantly, is that it wasn't the whole narrative that the newspaper had and a lot of people was repeating in a lot of books never did happen like that. Little Longstreet wasn't with me; he was down the hallway. Did nobody tell me to burn that man? Two girls came and told me that they was coming down there to jump on me, but I could have left. But I had a pistol, so I waited for him. And that's what happened.
He said the other individual that was named in the newspaper article, where they said
he told James, burn Larry Hoover, said that never happened. Dude was way down the hallway somewhere. He said 2 girls told him they called Larry and them to come jump on him. So instead of leaving, he had a pistol, so he waited on them to show up. And when they showed up, he got busy. Let's keep it going.
Got you. So y'all had y'all personal issues, regardless of what it was. You was a shooter. It was a bunch of people in the hallway that probably gave description of probably who you was or saw whatever it was they saw. But with you fighting the case, Larry Hoover was never a name that cooperated against you, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that, plus, he couldn't have never cooperated with me because I already pleaded out. You know, and the paperwork is that Larry Hoover never made a statement, period.
Now, he further goes on to say, Larry Hoover never made a statement on him, period, and he pleaded out. Wasn't no statement there. Let's keep it rolling. Again, supporting what I thought happened, that with this whole newspaper article, they putting what they want to put in there. Remember, man, like, information to tear you down. They try to do it to me every day. If I wasn't a strong individual I was, I'd have been ran off the internet. But listen, my support system, my mental, it don't matter. Let's keep it rolling.
That's what your paperwork read.
My paperwork wasn't no statement made by Larry Hoover, so it wasn't no paperwork, period.
Got you. Now, another thing is, because I'm going to be real, brother, because this is dangerous waters for me, but I feel like I got a platform and I've done time before. So when I see things and hear things, especially when we speaking about somebody such as Mr. Hoover, who is who he is, who is a pillar, who is part of this foundation of what we call blackness, right? From where it came from, what it was, and what it is today. I use my platform to fight back. Now, I get a lot of backlash because they say, yo, Wack, this Chicago business, a GD business, why you speaking on it? I said, well, I'm speaking on it in defense of the brother, right? If I didn't speak on it and let people run amok with it, you know, ain't no telling how big the lie or the fire might grow. So I'm speaking to you because you are, I consider my triple OG, one of my elders, right? I'm pretty sure you had conversations with your people. Is there any issues with how I've been handling this situation?
Actually, I'm not aware of anything, but I just appreciated that you were saying that if this happened over 57 years ago. 2 young men. I was 18 and he was 18. We was caught up in the times and the events. And it wasn't no real animosity towards him and I because him and I grew up together. But the fact of the matter is that people are using things that happened that they wasn't born, they wasn't around, they didn't know anything about, and they had their own meanings and ideas, whatever their motives are, ulterior motives are, it still don't reach the fact and it's affecting true history, and it's affecting the fact that this man has spent over 52 years in prison, and if he ain't cracked before then, what makes you think he cracked back then?
Yep.
So what he's saying is this. Let's pay attention to Larry Hoover's character. If he ain't cracked in the last 52 years and told on a bunch of people to free himself out of prison, what makes you think he was cracked because he gonna snitch because he got shot? Right? He's saying the man was known for standing on this gangster. What we have established is that Larry Hoover's, the one that shot him, is saying Larry gave no statements. Larry did not tell on him. The other dude never told him to burn Larry. 2 chicks let him know Larry was coming up to the school to jump him. He had a pistol, so he waited. 1968. James was strapped. We going.
That's a fact. I respect that. I salute that. The brother on the phone, again, this is the brother that was one of the shooters who did time, right, for that incident with Larry Hoover back in 1968, I believe it was. And he's saying he pled out. Larry Hoover never gave a statement. It was a bunch of people in the hallway. It was at a high school. So that never.
I believe that it was the first school shooting on the book.
Yo, not only is James, what's his name again, baby? Highsmith. Not only at 18 in 1968. What? They coming to jump me? I'm not going nowhere. I'm strapped. Not only was he ready in 68, James Highsmith is claiming, I did the first high school shooting. Only I was defending myself. I didn't come up there popping no innocent bystanders. I popped what came up there to do something to me. A lot of y'all may say, why he didn't squabble up? Hey, listen, back in them days, them with knives, brass knuckles, bumper jacks, crowbars. Listen, the girl said, tune up here to get you, James. James said, I ain't running nowhere. It's trusty 32, and I'm popping something out if you come up here playing with me. And now he claiming that the first school shooting happened in Chicago. Was Wack that in 68? Let's keep listening.
Yo, you know what? You might.
May I correct one thing?
Yes, sir.
He wasn't one of the shooters. He was the shooter.
Oh, so it was only one shooter.
They speak of is Long Street. He was down. He was in the school, but it wasn't them. And he didn't do a thing for that.
So you the only one who went to jail?
I'm the only one. Our case got settled, and the reason that he was able to get acquitted was that he was not at the scene when the shooter was shot. He was down the hallway, and he didn't never shoot nobody.
So once again, we got a newspaper article, again, that's trying to sway everybody to something that's further away from the truth. This is why I was telling them I can't stand on that newspaper article. It's not a legal document to me. You know how we've been watching the mob. We watched the mob for years pay people off. You know what I mean? So the story read the way they wanted it to read. So I'm glad we clearing that up. It was one shooter. That's the brother on the phone now. The other gentleman didn't do a day in jail that they mentioned it. He's the one that went to prison, did the time, and Larry Hoover never gave a statement against him. He copped out, took a plea.
I want to listen to that entire phone call. Y'all go check out Wack 100 YouTube channel, The 100 Show. But from that phone call, it's pretty clear to me that Larry Hoover stood tall through it all. He didn't rat and he didn't go bad. Unfortunately, even after his pardon, he still has to serve the remaining years on his 200-year sentence, which is basically a life sentence. Larry Hoover's son, Larry Hoover Jr., is still fighting for his father's release, and he vouches that his father is a changed man.
Still fighting that fight to deal with state custody. We need Priska to understand that my father is an elderly man that would be an asset to the community if he wanted him to be an asset. But if he wanted him to lead the community, he could lead the community. But he deserves a chance. He did 52 years. So it's time for him to get a chance to restart life. He says he believes in redemption, and he's a different person. He's not the same person that he was when he went away 50 years ago.
Really been locked up 52 years. And yeah, he committed some serious crimes in his youth, but he is a 74-year-old man now, and he has changed a lot of people's life, even from behind bars. Let me know what y'all thinking in the comment section, and make sure y'all hit that like button. Let's get this video to 100 likes. Once we pass 100 likes, 500 likes. Once we pass 500 likes, 1,000 likes. Appreciate everybody hitting that like button, leaving comments. We're up to 30,000 subscribers. Make sure you turn on notifications. Could we actually load it to the next one? Another one. Gone.